instead of having them just for a martial arts class, you've also got them in the after school for a couple hours. In the summer, you got them for 8 hours a day. And you can have a life-changing, life-improving, lifelong changes in kids' lives. I mean, it did for all of us. They're martial artists. And so it just gives you a chance to do even more in that direction.
You get school owners, especially in the martial arts industry, that either vibe with what we do immediately. They see the success, they see the potential, they know that it's an amazing revenue stream that's going to add 6 figures or even 7 figures to their business. And then you've got a bunch of these other people that's, have their arms crossed and they're like, well, this is not you.
What are you saying?
But they're like, this is babysitting.
I just can't stand my kids.
They call it babysitting. Or they say, you're running a daycare, and it's like, no. I will ask them the question, are you going to babysit those kids, or are you going to turn them into amazing martial artists that are going to become awesome black belts, awesome leaders, and keep this movement going forward? And then they're like, oh, I see. And then, we can show hundreds of success stories.
I know.
Right, exactly.
Don and Teresa said, when they started, they said, look, we're going to run this as a martial arts program.
Yeah.
I mean, they are building a martial art. I think it took them a little longer doing it that way. They probably could have done it faster if they would have done some other things, but they really wanted to stay that martial arts vibe. And that worked for them.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
And there's other schools that are very successful that don't have after school. That doesn't mean that's right, one's right, one's right. What works for you? What we do know is the hundreds and hundreds of people that you work with, it works for them.
There's 2 things that stand out. Number 1, this system was created during a recession.
Yep.
Sure.
We go back to 2007, 8, 9, 2010, when everything was crazy. We saw schools closing down. We saw studios and gyms closing down. But at the same time, we pivoted and said, what do families need and what do they have a budget for? And that was, at the time, summer camp. Yep. So we went from 0 to 50 kids in like a weekend of blasting out emails internally. And then after that, it continued to grow. They all wanted after school, which was also a necessity program. So when we were able to grow that while everybody else around us, I mean, literally, we're standing at our HQ and we're surrounded by childcare facilities, the YMCA, the rec centers, there's martial arts schools, there's dance studios. We saw people going out of business as we were growing. And that's one thing that stands out. And then if we go back to early 2020, when everybody across the country was having to shut down because of the pandemic, all of a sudden, we pivoted and said, let's do a virtual learning program. And all of a sudden, all of our clients were able to stay open. They were able to grow. They were able to charge summer camp prices for almost a whole year. So we saw people that were breaking financial records month over month compared to anything they've ever done in the history of their business during the pandemic, when so many other school owners and gym owners across the country were shutting down. And it was in that year where Success Team Coaching almost doubled in size. People saw the value of what we bring to the table, the coaching, the mentorship.
Remember the other thing you did?
What's that?
You guys made a video.
Yeah.
You told people that if they needed some help with their tuition.
Oh, yeah.
You guys, you were proactive ahead of it.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
You stepped up for your people, and a lot of people didn't.
Getting goosebumps on this one.
Well, I mean, and that says a lot. And the one thing, what people throw darts at successful people. That's just the way it happened. The big tree catches a lot of wind, they say in martial arts. And you guys were successful, and when you hear that, people start saying, well, it's all about the money.
Yeah.
And you guys proved them dead wrong on that one. And,
there was,
I'm sure it cost you a buck.
I'll be transparent on it. It did.
Yeah.
It did. We prayed about it and we said, this is what we need to do. This is what feels right, because not only did we want to be there for all of our members at the highest level possible, we even added additional coaching calls. We added live trainings twice a week, every single week during that entire time. And when we sent out that video, we literally told, hundreds of members that if you can afford to pay us half, that's fine. If you can afford to only pay $100, that's fine. If you can afford to only pay $10, do it. no one's quitting. You have to pay something because we need to know you're committed, even if it's $1.
Sure.
But you got to stay in there because we're going to give you 150%. And we also wanted to show them again, walking the talk.
100%. We stand behind exactly what we were teaching.
They need to do that to their members.
Yeah.
Nobody's quitting. We're all in this together.
Right.
Because when we weather that storm, we're going to come out stronger.
Yeah.
And I was saying that, during that time, I said, look, what it's, the oldest saying out there, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah.
I said, we're going to come out of this thing stronger.
Yeah.
And the ones that gutsed it out and worked through it are stronger, a lot stronger. So let's talk quickly about your event.
Yeah, cool. You
So-
want to come into the conference room?
Yeah, let's
Come on this way.
So you are going to throw an event that possibly will be, is well on its way to being the biggest after-school martial art, or after-school summer camp and
Yeah.
martial arts event
Yeah.
thrown in years.
Yep.
Tell me what's going on.
Yeah, we're excited. So this is the 2023 E3 Success Summit. It's going to be in Tampa, Florida. We're hosting it at Busch Gardens.
Yep.
Which, for those of you that don't know, that's a theme park. Roller coasters,
Animals,
tigers,
alligators.
flamingos, great food, and all that. And what's really cool is, as an organization, we're covering the cost of ticket price. So nobody has to pay extra to get in the park. When our event is done for the day, you can stay and ride roller coasters and have fun with your team. We're also covering parking. So you're literally getting like hundreds of dollars of value just on the front end by saving a seat. And then the content.
Yeah.
It's going to be insane. Marketing, sales, daily operations, expansion, launch strategies, what's working on Facebook, what's working on Google and YouTube. All of these things are going to come together to create this massive, successful event. And then we've got headlining speakers, like we just booked Dr. Benjamin Hardy. He's the author of Who Not How.
Gap in the game.
Yep, The Gap in the Gain, Be Your Future Self Now, Personality Isn't Permanent, all these great books.
Right.
So he's just one of the speakers that we've announced. We've got a couple already lined up that we're going to announce over the next couple weeks.
Cool.
So it just keeps getting better and better. We're going to have over 1,000 people there. We're going to have you guys there with us. And it's going to be amazing.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
day one is personal transformation. Day two is systems. Day three is guest speakers as well. And it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I tell people, and I've said it for years and years and years, they'll ask, should I go to an event or should I? And I said, well, do you think this stuff's going to come to you in a dream? And it may or may not, but it probably won't. And to be able to go to an event, you guys have established your level of expertise and you've established that what you're teaching works. You've established, more importantly, I think, your commitment to just what you're teaching, this 1% better. You guys are running considerably higher than 1% better each year, but you're setting these standards, and as we just talked about earlier, you're setting them as an example for your people. So this event will, if it follows that, who's the guy, Dr. Phil, the best future indicator of past behavior, or best indicator of future behavior is past behavior. And you guys will put out some spectacular events, and this looks like it's going to be the mama of them all.
We can't wait.
So it'd be pretty, and it's Tampa in the middle of winter, so that's always good.
Yeah, and just to acknowledge that, the daytime temps are going to be like 70 degrees.
Yeah.
Sunny and 70.
Yep.
So those of you that are in Bangor, Maine right now may want to
Come on down.
Tickets. You're going to want to do it.
Well, and speaking of tickets, we've been promoting this event for a little over 3 weeks now, and we've already sold over 600 seats.
Wow.
So it's already broken records for the biggest event we've ever hosted, and the fastest promotion.
Yeah. Well, other than trade shows, this is the biggest event.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the super show's a trade show. This, as far as an educational, taking stuff and going back to use it program, by far the biggest thing. And you're not done yet.
No, we're not.
No.
And and one of the things that Lauren and I always bring to the table is we give real content.
Yeah. Sure.
So you're not going to show up to our event. It's not a bunch of pitches. There's not a bunch of people trying to sell you things. You're there to get content. And yes, we have a system. We have a coaching program. We have online courses. We have all these things that will support what you learn at the event, right? But you can go to that event and you're going to have pages of notes, and you're going to experience breakthroughs. You're going to see yourself differently. You're going to evolve as a leader. And just the content that we give, I mean, you could literally plug that into your martial arts school the same day or the next day and see results.
Yeah, 100%.
Years ago.